Level 1. The decision. You're 18 years old. You're sitting in a recruiter's office in a strip mall somewhere in Middle America. The carpet is thin. The fluorescent light hums above you. The recruiter slides a pamphlet across the desk. It says Special Forces. You've watched the videos. You've read the forums. You know about the beret. But you don't know what it actually costs. You don't know what it takes out of a man. You don't know that the person sitting in this chair today will not be the person who finishes. You sign the contract anyway. 18X, Special Forces candidate. That's your enlistment option. It's a pipeline, not a guarantee. The recruiter shakes your hand. He says most guys don't make it. You think he's trying to scare you. He's not. You ship to Fort Jackson in 6 weeks. The night before you leave, your mother cries. Your father shakes your hand and doesn't say much. You lie in your bed and stare at the ceiling. You think about war, about medals, about being someone. You have no idea what you're walking into. Level 2, Basic Training. The bus pulls into the reception battalion at 2 a.m. Someone screams at you before you're even off the bus. You don't sleep for 36 hours. They take your phone, your clothes, your name. You are now a number. You run. You do push-ups. You low-crawl through mud while a drill sergeant walks calmly beside you explaining that you are the worst group of humans he has ever seen. You believe him. Basic combat training is 9 weeks. For the first 3, you wonder if you made a mistake. But something happens around week 4. Your body starts to change. You stop waking up tired. You stop dreading the runs. You start watching the guys around you. Some of them fold. Some of them tap out mentally before they even hit a real challenge. You don't. That's the first thing you learn about yourself. That you don't fold. You graduate basic in the July heat. Your dress uniform is stiff. Your boots are shined. Your parents are in the bleachers. Your mother takes pictures. Your father stands a little straighter. You feel pride for exactly 1 day. Then they ship you to Fort Benning for infantry OSE. You're not done. You're barely started. Level 3, The Gate. Special Forces Assessment and Selection. Fort Bragg, North Carolina. 24 days. They don't tell you what's coming. That's the point. You show up with a rucksack that weighs more than some of the guys you trained with. You don't sleep much the first week. You ruck march through the night. 12 miles. 15 miles. 18 miles. Alone. No talking. No teams. Just you and the weight on your back. Your feet blister on day 2. You don't stop. Your shoulders tear open where the straps cut in. You don't stop. On day 5, a guy next to you in formation just sits down. He doesn't quit out loud. He just sits. No one says anything. The cadre marks his number on a clipboard. He's done. You keep walking. The land navigation phase is where most candidates fail. You're in the North Carolina woods at 0300. No light. Thick pines. Wet ground. You have a compass, a map, and coordinates. You find 3 of your 4 points. You're moving to the 4th when you realize you've drifted. Your heart rate spikes. You breathe. You stop. You reorient. You find the 4th point with 9 minutes to spare. You don't celebrate. You just move to the next task. That's SFAS. There is no celebration. By day 18, you've lost 12 pounds. Your hands don't stop shaking when you eat. But you're still here. On day 24, they line up what's left of the class. Out of 347 candidates, 89 remain. You're one of them. They tell you that you've been selected. You don't cheer. You just nod. Because somehow you already knew. Level 4. The Q course, where they build you. The Special Forces qualification course. Over a year of training. Some guys take longer. You start with the Special Forces preparation and reconnaissance course. Then the individual skills phase. Tactical movement. Weapons handling. Survival. Resistance to interrogation. The SEER school. That's the one no one talks about. Survival, evasion, resistance, and escape. They capture you. Not pretend capture. Realistic enough that your brain doesn't know the difference. You're sleep deprived. Hungry. They ask you questions. You give name, rank, service number, date of birth. That's it. Over and over. For hours. When it's done, they debrief you. You find out where you failed. You failed 3 times. You remember every single one. Then comes MOS selection. Your specialty. 18B, Weapons Sergeant. You will become a master of weapons. Domestic and foreign. Systems most soldiers have never touched. The first time you disassemble an RPG-7 and reassemble it blindfolded, something shifts. You realize this isn't a job. This is a craft. You spend months on this. Anti-tank systems. Heavy weapons. Crew-served weapons. Foreign weapons exploitation. You fire weapons from 17 different countries. You know each one by sound, by weight, by how they fail. Because they always fail at the worst moment, and you need to know what to do when they do. The Q course ends with Robin Sage. A guerrilla warfare exercise in the backcountry of North Carolina. Farmers, role players, fake governments. But the exhaustion is real. The cold is real. The weight of the decisions is real. You link up with a guerrilla force. You train them, advise them, earn their trust. You make a mistake on day 3 that costs your team the trust of the village elder. It takes you 2 days to earn it back. That mistake will follow you to every deployment you ever run. You graduate the Q course on a cold February morning. They place the Green Beret on your head. You've earned the right to wear it. You stand at attention. Your eyes are dry, but your hands are shaking again. Level 5. The ODA, your new family. Operational Detachment Alpha. 12 men. You are assigned to 3rd Special Forces Group. Fort Bragg. Your team is built around expertise. 2 officers. 2 warrant officers. 8 NCOs. Each man a specialist in something. Your team sergeant is a guy named Reyes. 15 years in. 2 combat tours in Iraq. 1 in Afghanistan. He looks at you the way a carpenter looks at raw wood. He sees what he can make. Your first month on the team is humbling. These guys operate on a different level. Their communication is minimal, efficient. They talk in half sentences and everyone understands. You work to get there. You train daily. Land navigation. CQB, close quarters battle. Trauma medicine. Language. You're assigned Pashto. You hate it for the first 2 months. Then one morning it clicks. You overhear 2 Afghan instructors talking. You understand them. They don't know you understand them. That is the first time you feel the edge of what this job actually is. Not just fighting. Intelligence. Influence. Understanding. Your first deployment is announced 6 months after you join the team. Afghanistan. Kunar Province. You've been waiting for this. And now that it's here, there's a weight in your chest that wasn't there before. You don't call it fear. But it's there. Level 6. First deployment, Kunar Province. You land at Bagram at night. The air smells like dust and diesel and something else you can't name. Your team loads into a CH-47 and you fly low and dark into the mountains. The firebase is small. Dirt walls. HESCO barriers. A few ISO containers. Nothing like the movies. Reyes walks you through the AO, the area of operations. He points at the ridgelines. They watch us from there. We watch them from here. Sometimes someone decides to start shooting. He says it like a weather report. Your first patrol is a village assessment. You walk in with a terp, an interpreter, and 2 Afghan commandos. The village elder is 60 years old with a white beard and eyes that have seen 4 different occupations. He's seen the Soviets, the Taliban, the warlords, the Americans. He offers you tea. You drink it. You ask about the road, about the clinic, about his sons. He answers. But he's watching you, measuring you. You don't push. You drink the tea and let the silence work for you. Reyes told you silence is your most powerful weapon in a village. He was right. On the way back to the firebase, your point man holds up a fist. Everyone freezes. He's spotted fresh dirt on the road. You call it in. EOD responds. It's a pressure plate device. 20 pounds of homemade explosive. If you'd walked another 6 meters, half your team doesn't go home. That night you sit on the roof of the firebase and look at the mountains. They're beautiful. Impossibly beautiful. And they want you dead. You sleep 4 hours. Then you go back out. Level 7. Combat. The weight of the trigger. Week 6. You're on a night raid to capture a mid-level Taliban facilitator. Intelligence has been tracking him for 3 months. Your team infiltrates on foot. For kilometers through the dark. You hit the compound at 0200. It goes clean for 12 seconds. Then someone opens a door who shouldn't. Shots fired. Your team moves. No hesitation. It's over in 40 seconds. The target is secured. But there's a body in the courtyard. Younger than you thought. The medic, Martinez, checks him. He looks at you and shakes his head. You move. Mission protocol. You don't stop. You complete the exploitation and extract. On the helicopter back, no one speaks. That's normal. But it's a different silence than before. Back at the firebase, Reyes finds you on the roof. He doesn't ask how you're doing. He sits down next to you and says nothing for a while. Then he says, first time is the hardest. After that it doesn't get easier. You just get better at carrying it. You don't respond. But you don't forget it either. You carry that moment for the rest of your career. You will carry it for the rest of your life. Level 8. The specialist, you become the expert. Second deployment. Mali, West Africa. Different war. Different enemy. Different terrain. But the mission is the same. Foreign internal defense. You are here to train Malian soldiers to fight their own insurgency. You are not the hammer. You are the hand that builds the hammer. This is the core of Special Forces doctrine. Not direct action. Not kicking doors. Building partners. You spend 6 months living with the Malian battalion. You eat with them. Train with them. Argue with them. Your Pashto doesn't help here. You learn French. Enough to function. The battalion commander is skeptical of you at first. You show him what his unit can do in 6 weeks of proper conditioning. He becomes your strongest advocate. By month 4, his soldiers are running ambushes that they plan themselves. You observe. You advise. You stay in the background. That's the job. You come home from Mali and get promoted to staff sergeant. You're 26 years old. You have more operational experience than officers twice your age. And you're just getting started. Level 9. The veteran. You are the standard. Third deployment. Syria. You're not training anyone this time. This is a direct support mission. Counter ISIS. You are embedded with a partner force deep in contested territory. This is the sharp edge. No firebase. No wire. No helicopters on standby. You operate out of captured buildings. Your team is split into 2 elements. You're leading a 6-man advisory element with 40 Kurdish fighters. One night, your element is holding a building when a vehicle approaches that's not on the deconfliction list. You have seconds to decide. You call it. You hold fire. The vehicle stops 200 meters out. It's a family. Terrified. Your interpreter gets them out of the area. Later, your team leader tells you that was the right call. But he also says the wrong call carries the same feeling. That's the job. Making decisions in seconds that lawyers will analyze for years. You return home. You have a beer on your porch. Your neighborhood sounds impossibly quiet. Someone is mowing their lawn. A kid is riding a bicycle. You sit there and feel like you're watching it through a window. That's when you first notice the distance. Level 10. Team Sergeant, the weight of command. You are 31 years old. You are now a Master Sergeant. You are the team sergeant of your ODA. 12 men are your responsibility. Not just their performance. Their lives. Their marriages. Their mental state. Their decisions at 0-300 in a foreign country. You know every man's family by name. You know which one has a drinking problem he's hiding. You know which one's wife is about to leave. You know which one is quietly carrying wounds that never made it into any report. You are their soldier. Their mentor. Their confessor. The new guys look at you the way you once looked at Reyes. You understand now what he was carrying. Your 4th deployment is Iraq. Training the counterterrorism service. It should be routine. It's not. On a night operation, 2 of your men are caught in a complex ambush. They fight out of it. They come back. But one of them, a 23-year-old 18D named Carol, isn't the same. He does his job. He doesn't talk about it. 3 months after you return home, Carol resigns his contract. He shakes your hand on his last day. He says he's going home to Montana. You understand. You help him out process. You drive to your house that night and sit in your truck for 45 minutes before going inside. Level 11. The fracture. 5 deployments. 7 years on the team. You are technically fine. All your evaluations say so. But there is a version of you that existed before all of this. That version is harder to find now. Your sleep is interrupted by sounds that mean nothing here. Your hypervigilance, a skill that kept you alive, doesn't turn off when you land at Fayetteville. You sit in restaurants with your back to the wall. You scan every person who enters. You calculate exits. Your wife says you're not present. She's right. You are physically in the room, but you are somewhere else. You go to the behavioral health office on post. Not because you want to, because your team sergeant, that's you now, would tell any of your guys to go. So you go. The therapist is not a soldier. He asks you to describe the distance you feel. You spend the first session saying nothing useful. The second session, something comes loose. You don't know where it comes from, but it comes out. And you sit with it. That's the part they don't show in the recruiting videos. The part where the weapon turns inward. Not with violence. With silence. With distance. with the slow erosion of the person you used to be. Level 12, the choice. Your contract is up. You are 34 years old. You have a decision. Re-enlist. Stay in. Make Sergeant Major. Keep going. Or get out. You sit with both options for 6 weeks. Your wife doesn't push either way. She just watches you. One morning you drive out to a range alone. You sit at a picnic table and look at the tree line. You think about Reyes. He did 22 years. Retired to a house in Texas. You called him last year. He sounded good. But his voice had the same thing yours does now. That flatness. That distance in the frequency. You think about Carol in Montana. You called him too. He sounds different. He guides fly fishing tours. He says he sleeps through the night now. You make your decision on a Tuesday. You submit your separation paperwork. Your commanding officer asks if you're sure. You say yes. He respects it. Level 13. The civilian world, the last mission. Outprocessing takes 30 days. People hand you pamphlets about VA benefits and transition programs. You nod and take the pamphlets. Your last day on Fort Bragg, you drive the perimeter road. You've driven this road hundreds of times. You stop the truck at the SF Memorial. You stand there for a while. Names on stone. Some of them you knew. One of them you were with when he died. You don't cry. That's not something you do in parking lots. But you stand there a long time. You drive home. You walk in the front door. Your wife is in the kitchen. Your daughter is doing homework at the table. She's 9 now. She was born while you were deployed. You've missed more of her life than you've been present for. She looks up when you come in. Are you done now? She asks. You say yes. She goes back to her homework. Your wife doesn't say anything. She just puts her hand on your arm. You stand in your own kitchen. It's the most foreign place you've been in years. Level 14. What you carry. 6 months out. You work as a security consultant. You make decent money. You live in a suburb. You coach your daughter's soccer team on Saturdays. You are fine. You are also not fine. Both things are true at the same time. That's what they don't tell you. That there's no clean ending. No final level where it all resolves. There is only the carrying. You carry what you've done. You carry what you've seen. You carry the men you couldn't bring back. You carry Carol's face on the day he shook your hand. You carry the courtyard in Afghanistan. You carry the silence in your truck in the driveway. You carry it all and you keep walking. Because that's what you were trained to do. That's the only thing you know how to do without being told. Keep moving. Complete the mission. Final level, the Green Beret. You're at a hardware store on a Wednesday afternoon. Normal day. Mundane task. A kid walks past you in a Special Forces t-shirt. He's maybe 17. He doesn't know what the tab means. He's wearing it because it looks tough. You don't say anything to him. But you watch him for a second. You think about who you were at 17. Sitting in that recruiter's office. The thin carpet. The humming light. The pamphlet. You think about what you would tell that kid if you could. Not about the tactics. Not about the training. About the cost. About what it takes to become the kind of person who can do this job. About what it costs the people around you. About what it costs the part of you that existed before. You wouldn't tell him not to go. Because you'd do it again. Even knowing everything. Even knowing the courtyard in Afghanistan. Even knowing the distance. Even knowing what it does to the inside of a man. You'd still sign. Because there's something about this life that gets into the bone. It becomes who you are. Not just what you do. Who you are. The Green Beret is not a hat. It's not a tab or a designation or a line on a resume. It's what's left after everything soft has been burned away. It's the thing that stands in the rubble. You pay for your hardware. You drive home. You park in the driveway. You sit there a moment. Then you go inside.